Good afternoon. I'm Kinsey Grant, and I'm the Lexington City Beat Reporter. Joining me this afternoon is Noah Simon. Mr. Simon is the city manager for Lexington and has been on the job for a few months. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So what made you decide to go into municipal management and government?
Wow. I was probably a combination of things. One, it's an exciting job. You never get to do the same thing twice. Every day is a fun and exciting opportunity and adventure. But I think growing up, my family was very involved in various community events and local politics and things like that. And they were always dragging me. My parents were always dragging me to different functions. And I think at the time I really hated it. But as I grew up and learned, and later in life, I realized I think I got a lot out of those experiences, and this is something that I wanted to do, to be a part of a community, to be able to shape the policy for the community and shape that community's growth and future.
So how have you been adjusting to the community in Lexington?
So far it's been great. It's been about 3.5 months since I've been on the job. I really enjoy it. I love Virginia. I'm really happy and glad to be in Lexington.
Could you please just briefly explain your duties as city manager?
Sure. I'm hired by the mayor and city council. I work directly for them, and my job is to oversee the daily operations of the city government, to put together the budget and manage the budget, to implement policies that are developed within the organization, as well as policies and programs that the mayor and council create and set forth.
Okay. So what should Lexington citizens be looking forward to in the coming months? Do you have any big projects coming up?
Well, we've got a lot of projects. I don't know if they would be big, but we have a lot of initiatives on our plate. We're still working on the construction of the new Waddell School, the Waddell Elementary School project, and hopefully that will go vertical in the next couple of months. And once it starts going vertical, I think people will see progress and rapid progress. For us, big projects are getting our ducks in a row, so to speak, to really gear up towards tackling some of our infrastructure needs, roads, water and sewer lines, and things like that. We've got a few capital projects that we'll be completing, and then starting in the next fiscal year, some sidewalk improvements and some things like that. And we recently did what we refer to as a sign diet and removed a number of parking signs so we didn't have so much sign clutter in the downtown. I think those are some of the things that are going to be most visible to folks in the community. And of course, we're working on a lot of things internally to the organization. While they're critical and important to the organization, maybe a little less visible to the community as a whole, such as our budget preparation process, revamping a number of our policies, looking at our contracts and agreements and things of that nature.
Could you explain the budget process for the city of Lexington?
Sure. Our fiscal year is June 30th through July 1. And so right now, staff and I are knee-deep in looking at individual department budgets. My job as manager is to review all of those budgets. I work very closely with our finance director, and I'll meet with each of the departments that have budgets. I will put together the manager's proposed budget, which I will present in the next couple of months to the City Council. The City Council will have a number of meetings and workshops and a couple public hearings to discuss what's included in that budget. They may add or subtract things, may say, we want to do additional projects or fewer projects. We'll have to look at our overall tax rates, our revenues and expenditures to make sure that we have the funds necessary to do the things that I've proposed, as well as the City Council would like to do and support. There's going to be a tax increase this year because of the school for us to pay off our debt service. What we're trying to do as staff is manage the amount of that proposed increase so that we can do that and still continue to meet all of our other needs.
So what would the proposed increase be? What kind of tax increase?
Don't know what that exact number is going to be just yet. Last year when they put together the budget, they only budgeted half of the debt service for the school. So we need to budget this year at the very least for the remaining half of the debt service, and then determine whether or not we can meet all of our other needs within our existing revenues, or if we need to ask for additional funds to meet those needs.
And if you did need additional funds, where would you ask?
There are a lot of different sources. The obvious and easy one is this general property or the real estate tax, but there are other taxes. There's the meals tax or lodging tax, things like that. And it could be that we ask a little bit from all of these things. It could be we sort of focus on one specific group, but at this time we don't know what that overall ask is going to be or needs to be, and therefore we don't know what we're going to ask or propose from each of those categories.
Okay. Could you just explain a little bit how you service the debt for Waddell? Explain what the debt is, where it came from, and how long it's going to be in the picture for the city's budget.
Sure, it's going to be in our budget for the long-term future. I think it's right around 20 years, and the debt is to cover the construction, the architectural and construction costs for the new school. So on that debt, on that borrow, there's principal and interest, and that is a pretty substantial chunk of change for us each and every year until we can pay off. That was something that the community and the city council, the city council voted to approve, I guess last year or 2 years ago, I believe it was last year. It's a great project for our community, and I know there were a lot of mixed feelings about that project, but the fact of the matter is that that vote was taken, that vote was passed, and that project is started, and I think we all need to move on from that and figure out how we meet that need and meet all of our other needs.
You mentioned earlier the sign diet downtown. I know a lot of people are interested in downtown enhancement. What is your role in the downtown enhancement project?
Well, there's a lot of things that we do as a city of Lexington. Parking signs are just one of many things. We make sure that the streets are maintained and whatnot. We are working on a program that would better market some of our tax incentives for second-story rehabilitation, so that more properties and property owners can take advantage of that. We can encourage development and redevelopment in our downtown. We have a number of groups like Main Street Lexington that we work very, very closely with, and we work very, very closely with our tourism department to promote downtown, to bring people into our community, to shop at our stores, dine in our restaurants, and stay in our hotels. We maintain the sidewalks, we provide public safety, so we are a critical part of the overall downtown picture.
How important would you say bringing visitors to Lexington is for the city as a whole? Extremely
important. We are very grateful for every visitor that comes to our community, and even happier when they shop, dine, and sleep. That helps. That's somewhat of our bread and butter. Tourism is a major component of our overall economy, and we want to make sure that every person that comes and visits our community has an experience of a lifetime, and this is a place that they love and fall in love with and want to return.
Now, speaking of the economy, do you have any ideas or plans for any sort of economic development for the city in the coming months?
We're working on a number of initiatives, not anything specific, in terms of projects, but the Chamber of Commerce has been working on the 2020 plan, and they've been going around to the county and to Buena Vista and seeking funding for the first phase of implementation. We'll be talking about that on the 19th to determine whether or not City Council will fund that specific ask, and that's a really good project, and we'll see where that goes. Since I've been here, I've been spending a little bit of my time reaching out to state folks at the State Economic Development Team, trying to get on their radar screen so we can, be in their thought process when they talk about Virginia and economic development. What's good for Lexington is good for the region and vice versa. And we work really closely with the City of Buena Vista and Rockbridge County because regional economic development benefits all of us.
Okay. So what is your favorite thing to do in Lexington?
Wow, my favorite thing? I do enjoy the restaurants. So when I get a little bit of free time, it's a great place to dine and spend time with friends and family and unwind a little bit. It's a very busy job. It's very time consuming. So I appreciate the opportunities where I can just sort of kick back.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.